Now it's time for us to connect up our run action. Let's open up our battle window, and at the top of the battle window, we're going to add a new field. We're going to set this up as a range, and inside of the range, we'll set the minimum value to 0 and the maximum value to 0.9f. Now let's create a public float, and we're going to call this run odds. And we're going to set this equal to 0.3f. Now at the bottom of our class, let's create a new IEnumerator, and we're going to call this onRun. Inside of this method, we're going to hide the actions group. We'll do this by calling the setActive method to false. Now when you run, we'll hide the action so that the player can't do anything until they see if the run was successful or not. Now let's create a new variable called chance. And here, we'll set the value to random.range with the minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 1f. Now let's test to see if our chance is less than our run odds. If it is, we're going to call display message, and we're going to pass in a string that says you were able to run away. Now, after we display this message, let's call yield return new wait for seconds and pass in 2. When the message is done displaying, we're going to close out of the battle window. To do this, we simply call close. Now let's add an else condition to handle what happens when you can't run away. We'll copy our display message from the line above and paste it into our else condition. Here, we'll say you are not able to run away. And since we can't run away, we're going to start the coroutine back up again, and in this, we're going to call next action. Now at this point, we have our run command working, but we need a place to call it. Let's scroll up to our onPlayer action. We're going to add a new switch statement here, and we're going to test to see what the ID is. Our default switch statement is going to be looking at the actions array, pulling out the ID's index, and then triggering that action. We'll also need to end this with a break. Now let's add a case. Now we're going to test for case 1. We'll also add a break. Inside of this, we're going to start a coroutine, and we're going to call onRun. Now there's one last thing we need to do in order for this to work. Let's cut out the line that says next action player equals false and put it to the end of the switch statement. This way, no matter what the action is, we'll make sure that the monster has the next turn. Now let's hit save. If we go back into Unity and run our game, we should be able to test that we can run away. We'll start our battle and click Run. Keep clicking Run until you're able to get away. Now we're able to run away, and we're also able to attack our monster. But you may have noticed something. The first time you click on the action button, it actually gives focus to the window and doesn't perform the action. We can fix that really quickly. Let's go to the battle window and scroll up. You can see that we have a first selected field. Let's go ahead and drag the attack button onto the first selected field. Now let's select the attack button and drag the run button over to the select on right. Then select the run button and drag the attack over to the select on left. Now let's switch back over to our battle window. Here we're going to scroll down to our next action method. And right below where we set our actions group to be active, let's go ahead and call onFocus. This will trigger the Windows Focus method, and the attack will automatically get highlighted. Let's save our code and go back into Unity. Now, if we trigger a battle, and if we give the game window focus, we can now move right and left between the action options, and we can hit return in order to perform an action. You can stop it and try it again, and also make sure that now when we start a battle, that we're able to select the action and have it perform. And now, our battle system is complete.